Well, it's the last of the 80th season of the Bach Festival, and we couldn't end it with a better piece. Mendelssohn's Elijah, one of the great pieces of choral music ever, about a very important prophet, and it told this great story, and it's frankly Mendelssohn at his absolute most dramatic. Interesting about Elijah, it's really never lost its importance throughout all time. Some pieces, they're very important when they first come out, and then you don't hear about them for years. Not the case with Elijah. It has always been in the mainstream of choral repertoire since its premiere in, I believe, 1846. So it starts with 4 big whopping chords in the woodwinds that Mendelssohn described as the Word of God. Then it's the prophet Elijah immediately telling us that a drought's going to come because you people have been evil. Of course, the tenderness of such arias and some of the most important pieces of music, If With All Your Hearts, maybe one of the most elegant and beautiful arias for tenor. Of course, before that, the choir shouts, "Help us, Lord, help us, Lord." And here comes the drought. And then there's this argument with Elijah and the god Baal. And so it is very dramatic throughout as it tells the story of this great prophet. You will notice chorus after chorus that you recognize. Be not afraid. The most elegant, beautiful one for female voices that I'm having sung with our children's choir. Lift thine eyes to the hills. Just a splendid piece. Followed by, of course, the ever-powerful Cast Thy Burden Upon Thy Soul. It's a beautiful story throughout, told historically and also told with such conviction. And the musical interpretation and the musical chordal structure and rhythmic structure just reinforces this powerful story. The ending, of course, one has to know the story that Elijah was carried to heaven on a chariot of fire, and he creates the sound of flames in the chorus and the orchestra. You cannot find a more powerful piece of music. You cannot find a composer who has the capacity to tell a story more vividly than Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn was a person that was a true prodigy, raised with a silver spoon in his mouth with opportunities that others didn't. For example, his teacher for literature was Grimm of Grimm's Fairy Tales. He had the best, his family bought the best of teachers to come and work with him. His composition teacher was Zelter, who was also Beethoven's teacher. He played the pianoforte score of the Ninth Symphony for Goethe. So this is a person who was a prodigy, who had great skills, great charm. They say spoke fluently in many languages. And Mendelssohn was a great student of music of the past. He was the person who really helped the rebirth of the music of J.S. Bach with the performance of the St. Matthew Passion. And he was a great student of Bach's music and music that came before him. Now, why that's so significant is because really prior to the Romantic period, even up to much of the 20th century, not much repetition of music written prior was done. It was almost all music currently written in that day. So, for example, for Bach to go back and to do a piece of Palestrina's would have been almost unheard of, or Mozart to do a piece of Bach. You studied their music, but you didn't perform it. So that's why Mendelssohn's taking of old works and recreating them is really important. And that's why this is so important for the work of Elijah, because it's exactly what he's done, is he's learned to recapture the drama of the early oratorios. I hope you will join us for this last program of the season, our 80th season, with hearing the incomparable and impeccable work of Felix Mendelssohn, his Elijah.